Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome to a brand new series of Transport Fever 2, and this one is the China edition. We are here right now, boys. The year is 1850 and China is a sleeping powerhouse right now, and we're going to turn this into an economical right now. Oh my goodness me, and I can't believe I'm saying this, boys. Force. We have the ability to create our very own transport company here, create a load of products, but you'll notice that all these Chinese town names have -China on them. And that's because we have other countries such as Vietnam, Laos, we've got Burma, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal, India. And if we go more north right now, we've got Kyrgyzstan, we've got Kazakhstan, a little bit of Russia in the north, and then coming down to some more Russia with some Japan, North Korea, South Korea, and then coming down, we've got Taiwan. Interesting. And the Philippines just at the bottom as well, with a little bit of Hong Kong thrown in on that little island. Many countries around it right now to create great trading partners. But what you will also witness as well is because China is the factory of the world. And you'll notice that there is a lot of factories and kind of buildings that produce the end product within the mainland of China. And a lot of the raw resources kind of dotted around, which we're going to siphon to bring in to this great country. We have got 5 million big ones in the bank right now. This could become a potential new series of Transport Fever 2 if you enjoy it. So what I will say right now is, if you do enjoy this, want to see more of this Transport Fever 2 China series, then make sure you smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you are new so you do get notified when more episodes do come out. Don't rely on the recommended tab, boys. Subscribe to be notified right now. So, with many countries around, it's going to add an interesting challenge to this series just in general. The terrain is ridiculous right now. Look at the size of these mountains, boys. So that's going to make it even more interesting to try and transport the goods around the map in general. But I think before we can do anything, before we can have some big master plans, we first have to figure out, well, one, where are we starting? And two, we need to get a line set up that's going to inevitably make me a decent amount of cash, or at least start making me cash so I can start paying for some big expansions. So, looking around then, I can either start in the south right now, within Shenzhen or Guangzhou right now. We've got Hong Kong down here. I could go more north and start with the capital of Beijing. But I'm kind of looking around right now. We could do and set up some simple wood runs here, which is not too bad. There's some farms down here for some food factories. I kind of do want to start within China. I think that will be a good spot. We've got Shanghai over here, which is end production buildings. Oh, hold on. We've got 2 food farms in between a food press. Because I've got to think about, to start with, we've got to do vehicles. And that looks like it could be a nice, easy vehicle run. And then we could feed Shanghai with food. Shanghai is a big, important Chinese city. And it could then lead us to building a port to transport to other countries in the near future. I think this might be the perfect spot, and we might start in Shanghai. So, while I get this all up and running then, boys, like I said before, if you do enjoy this, want to see more, then make sure you smash the like button down below. Subscribe if you are new so you do not have to rely on the recommended tab to be notified of that next episode. Right. Because we're technically not going to be picking up the food straight away, I'll do a relatively cheap variant of the kind of truck unload stop here. So we'll drop you down. We'll also drop here as well a larger variant. Now, we only need one side, so I'll make it quite long. I'm trying to save a few pennies at the same time. I'm quite known for going a little bit OTT at the start. And then desperately scrambling for money. Right, make sure I've got all the stuff off. I know keep is on keep, but hard code it to be off. The speed limit change, I can do a small street, which is a speed of 20 kilometers, or I could do a dirt road, a small country road at 40. Now, I know this is a dirt road and not probably what you're expecting, but we're only going to have horse and cart anyway. So I don't think it's going to mind or matter too much. Nice little wiggle there to run into there, and then this will be an interesting bendy-wendy now. So if I do it like, if I go like this, run it straight, and then bend it. Easy peasy, boys. A simplistic setup right now. And we're going to do it like this because I want to give breathing space between the two farms eventually. We can pick up from here, drop off to there. Pick up from here, drop off to there. And that's how we're going to do it. Rather than just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, it gives a little bit of breathing space so I can eventually just add unlimited amount of horse and carts on this line. So next then, we'll get the road depot, which I'm going to place it just here and just slightly out of the way. And then we're going to create our first route in China, boys. So from here to there to there. Now, only when it gets to the Nanjing, China West, that we want it to be able to utilize both platforms as they're going to be coming in from different directions. We'll make it the color of wheat, and we'll call this, because it's Nanjing is like the dominant city, which is very, very close by. Nanjing food. No, Nanjing wheat. There we go. Our Nanjing wheat line. Nice and simple. Right, let's put it into, no, I'm not going to put it into play mode just yet. We'll buy our vehicles. So this is all we've really got. We've got the Troika, I can't even say it right now, which is a Russian-style horse and cart. Or obviously, we've got our Asian-based one. We're in China. We got to go Asian-based, right? And I reckon we buy 10 to begin with. Put them on the line. And then press play. Oh, my goodness me, boys. We have now kick-started the series. So while we wait for those now to get out of here, we'll do a little bit of fast forward to kind of speed them up slightly. So speed them up just to get them out of here. And then once they start picking up, they'll then eventually space themselves out and we should be pretty good. The speeds of these are doing 18, so my 40 kilometer speed limit there is pretty okay. And let them continue. So we got our first line set up, which should be somewhat profitable. It won't make us the big bucks, but it should pay or give us enough money that we can slowly start paying for some upgrades and maybe start thinking about building a train line somewhere. That we'll have to figure out at a later date, but that's where the big step forward is going to be. But I'm excited about this series, so let's take a look around the map then while we wait for those horse and carts to inevitably space themselves out. Over here right now we don't see where the world borders are, so it's a little bit more difficult for me to figure out. But we've got Vietnam right now. We've got some food down here as well in Laos. We've got Burma right now with some wood runs. Bangladesh over there with some factories nearby. We've got Bhutan and Nepal. It's been really interesting to kind of sell all of these individual companies goods from China, and that's how we're going to turn China into that economical powerhouse. India's got lots of wood available and some farms as well. Looking pretty good. It's crazy to see how far China does expand, because this is like the Tibet area, right? Or is the Tibet area around here? I need to, brush up on my Chinese geography right now. But it expands as far as east as here. No, sorry, west as there. And as far east as up here, right? Yeah, it's you kind of forget how big China is. Russia's over here right now with a lot of natural resources. We've got a lot of oil up in these areas as well. Another little Russian town. The geography of this is going to be crazy. It's not going to be that simple to run train lines through. We are going to have to go the long way around. We've got Kyrgyzstan, we've got Kazakhstan as well. And what I'm excited about the most as well is the fact that we got Manila down here in the Philippines. I know Manila is not positioned there in the Philippines. It's just there because we can't go further down, rather than giving it like a random northern town name. But I'm really excited about this part of the map as well, because we are going to have to heavily rely on planes and, of course, ships. So just like in real life, we're going to have some very, very, very busy shipping routes, boys. Very busy shipping routes right now, which is going to be very exciting. So how is my route already doing? We're already dropping off right now for the first time. So this will be getting a couple of wheat grain in. We'll give it more time to space itself out. Now, I'm in the position where I could effectively just duplicate the amount of vehicles again and have 20 on the line. So we'll do that and fast forward, get those out as well, because we are going to have a lot waiting and a lot going to waste. So the more we can spread these out, the better. And that will be pretty handy. Now, obviously, eventually, it'll be really, really good to get some train lines all involved with all of this. But they're expensive. And to build them, I'm going to need a constant inflow of cash to be able to, one, afford building it, but also to pay for the upkeep until I have a train running on it. And that's where the real money is involved. Right, I reckon, right, this is going to do us pretty good. But I still think we can maybe get away with doing another 10. So if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 selected and duplicate them, it means I've now got 30 horse and cart on this run, which is ridiculous. I will throw that out there right now. It is a ridiculous amount of vehicles. But I reckon we can uphold this. I reckon this line will be somewhat decently profitable. I can't see us having many issues with this. It's just when we start getting bigger capacity vehicles, then we'll have to reduce the amount of vehicles to compensate for it. But other than that, pretty good. So you can see it right now. There is my original vehicle, my first one, on the way down. And by the time it gets here, it should be just joining the back of this queue. So 30 vehicles should mean that we are almost really nicely spaced out. So where does it end? Where does it join the queue as it's now about to come in? So another one there. And that's now joined the queue. And by the time that one's now gone, the next one behind is underway. So we have now a pretty decent back and forth system. All nicely now spaced out, which is great. So could we argue the line's now profitable? It actually already is. It actually already is profitable right now, which is good. It's been profitable since day one, so that's a huge bonus for us. So the reality is then, do I now start feeding Shanghai with the food? Because we're going to get a constant flow of goods coming in. And obviously we need these to produce a bit more and level up. So we are going to now have to think about delivering. So to do this, we also have to cross a river. So let's first figure out where the drop-off point would be for the trucks. So somewhere like here is perfect. If I do it on this side. Or do I do it there? No, there is actually perfect. I'm now going to have to build a bridge. And it's going to have to be the world's cheapest bridge because I can't afford to do much else. Right, I want it to go in a straight-ish line. So if I just build to there, it's 130,000. It's quite the investment. Right, bam, there we go. Had to delete a building along the way. Now, that road does not lead to any other cities, so we will not see any pedestrianized public traffic utilizing my bridge. It's a bit wonky, but we don't talk about that. So we should be able to get away with it. Right. We need to level up this factory then, so it starts demanding more from these farms. And to do that, we need to increase the shipment and the transport numbers up. Now, apparently, Shanghai... Wait, can accept? Oh, okay, that's interesting. So because that there touches these two buildings, that's considered that they're able to deliver. So by that logic... I'm thinking one or two of those vehicles might contain some food along the way. There, yes, they are. Look at that. Okay, that's hilarious. I'm not going to stop that because obviously they don't make any money coming back down here. So that's a bonus. That's a happy accident, to put it bluntly, a happy accident. So we'll do a new line there and there, and then we'll do a slightly darker variant of the orangey for the food color. And this is going to be our Shanghai food line. And then at that stop there, we'll allow them to utilize both platforms. So just take one that is available. So cargo-wise then, we'll utilize the horse-drawn cart right now. We'll buy one to begin with, and we'll see how it gets on. Don't jump the gun too early, which is good. So Shanghai technically should have then got a couple of food, but now they're going to start getting bigger deliveries, which might mean that I'm going to have to increase the size of these slightly to store the excess or the products on the platform. So that can now start producing. Shipment will eventually increase. Transport will eventually increase. We'll see how it all goes down. We'll see how it all goes down, boys. So this will take, again, time, but we'll get there. We will get there right now. So in terms of being profitable, my original line is super profitable. This Shanghai food one will take some time, and we're most likely going to have to add additional vehicles. But I'll wait until they've built up a backlog, so I'm instantly making money from day one when we start getting more involved. Right, so now with the little bit of food being delivered, Shanghai should now technically start growing a little bit. I can see it expanding onto this peninsula here. It's already started to expand over there. So, yeah, it's going to be quite an interesting, quite a large city eventually. Right, I reckon we can now add in another vehicle. And there we go. Let's keep it going, boys. Let's keep it going. And how are my funds looking now on the old balance? So, haven't made profit overall on the day. We are spending lots, mainly because I keep spending lots. But if I didn't spend anything, we are making money. We are making cold hard cash, which is good news. Right, let's get another vehicle. All right, wait for that to move down a bit further. So we'll try and get these where they're nicely spaced out again as well. So that line has like a consistent flow of income. All right, keep it going. I'm just watching it. Right, why is it so far behind this? Is it because that gets weighed down with the product? It's probably what it is, isn't it? It's able to catch up. Is that like a slow incline? Oh, okay. I didn't realize there is a slow incline. So heavier vehicles do take longer to get up the hill. Interesting. Right, have we delivered a bit more now? Right, there's a vehicle right there carrying 4 on board. Let's see. Oh, they are actually now expanding across the river in Shanghai there. Okay, it's perfect. I want to see how much this is now going to earn us. I would like to see, delivering 4 food to Shanghai, how much money does this make us? Right, keep it going. The stop is just here. 6,000, nearly 6,500. That's not too bad. It's not too bad. Now, in reality, to make me even more money on that line, you could have that line also stop off here to take grain back. But we're limited. We're not having enough grain there, and that's because we need the factory now to level up. So I've got to wait for the transport numbers to increase, the shipment numbers to increase right now before we actually see the farms increase. Now, watching those that food now increase on Shanghai food, I'm now going to duplicate it to where we eventually have 10 vehicles on that line. There we go. Beautiful. That gives me a cargo capacity of 40. The rate is 44. Probably do one more, but it's all good. And just get those numbers increased. So transport increases, shipment increases. Should be pretty perfect. Should go hand in hand. Right. It's getting very busy on this little platform right now. So this is where you maybe start to think about doing additional kind of platforms on it. So you can unload and load more vehicles at once, give them a bit more freedom. I think that's what we're going to have to do. It is quite an expensive upgrade. But with the amount of vehicles we've got coming in, it's worth it. It is worth it. So you got the option to make them use dedicated areas, but if I made them use all 4, then they'll just use what is available. Spread them out a bit. You can't really go wrong, to be honest with you. You can't really go wrong. Right, nice. Things are looking good for us right now. They're looking real good for us. So Shanghai is definitely growing right now. 100% is definitely growing. From where we started, it was like 175, now up to... What is that one there? Oh, hello. 240. Wow, it's grown quite big already. Okay. We're almost at the right levels for shipment. The transport will just generally increase as we deliver more and more goods. So next one to deliver, that increases a few more percent. And then we wait for the next one to deliver, and that'll be a few more percent. There we go. And eventually, what we'll end up doing is building an actual proper station here. Because then having a proper station means ultimately then we have the ability to unload easier. And we can do that whole platform system as well. So, will be beautiful, boys, at the end of the day. It will be beautiful. I'm just watching those horse and carts right now coming into Shanghai. Right, glorious. So, that percentage is almost going to get there. The rate of the line definitely decreased. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Very profitable now. Now it's profitable. It wasn't before, but now it's profitable. As we've got more vehicles on it. And we're not causing ourselves too many traffic issues, are we? I don't think we're causing ourselves any traffic issues whatsoever. So I'm just waiting for that to now get up to its numbers. It's about 80%, isn't it? Is it 80 or 70 or 8? Sorry, 75. I think it's 75. So where's the next vehicles now? They're a bit further. Oh, look at the expansions. Do you know what? I can see Shanghai eventually connecting up its own road to Nanjing. I can see that happening. I honestly can see that happening right now. Right, we're in a bit of a lull period before the vehicles return with all the goods on board. But those extra 2 platforms are really helping us cut through the backlog of them. Up to 72%. So you do get the odd vehicle that can obviously deliver here. That's a good point. So you know where this was originally delivering to those couple of buildings here? Obviously, now since we've grown slightly, that now reaches a few more buildings, especially 2 over here and a few more there. So that's interesting. Obviously, we don't go to the new buildings down there. But that's something for a later upgrade. So, are we now getting more vehicles making their way down? We are, which hopefully that one vehicle that's about to deliver puts us into the 75%. It does. So we're just waiting for the shipment. And what that means is the amount of people receiving the goods. So, for us, we need one more building to open up. Just to give us that extra oomph. One more building to open up. And that's a shame, really. That is a shame we're not going to get it. We either need something to upgrade or a building to appear randomly. And I don't know what we're most likely to get. Because I feel like, because it's so landlocked in that regards, like the edges are so defined. I don't think we're going to get that extra building. Am I that lucky I'm not going to be able to get that extra building? I might need to do some terraforming real quick. So if I go flatten. And that's a lot of money I'm spending on terraforming right now for an area that I don't really, or I'm not going to care. That's done nothing. I spent all that money for nothing right now. So the idea would be either to slightly reposition it or to give us a secondary place to drop off the goods. Oh, it's a tricky one. It is a tricky one. I'm wondering if it might be a better idea to slightly extend that smaller road, or we go a little bit bigger to here. So the money I've now just lost. Right, pause. And I go here, and then I go on a little bend. Because the idea there is, just like what I've done there, is they build the buildings there. We get one there. Is it enough for them to understand? Yes! Okay, it worked out in the end. We got an extra 2 buildings on it. It worked out in the end. That factory is now leveling up. So with a little bit of tweaking, we got there. Oh, no, it's dropped down. Oh, that's because a lot of buildings upgraded. So it kind of reduced it, but now we're back to normal. Right, that factory is now going to upgrade. And the reason that's important is because it then starts demanding more resources, which I don't think it's going to increase this just yet to level 2. We got to kind of increase it a bit more than that, but it might push us a little bit further. Anyway, I'm so focused on this line. This is the revenue we're now making from both of them, which is not too shabby. That's going to level up and then start demanding more, which means it starts producing more. Shanghai is getting half the goods. Shanghai has really grown. Like already, it's like really, really, really grown. And it still continues to grow. I'm actually really nervous to how that's going to end up. Yeah. Even Guangzhou right now and Shenzhen, they're slightly growing. Oh, that's flatlined. Okay. Ignore everything I said. So we've got a strong foundation now. We've got a real strong foundation. And I think we can utilize that to our benefit, as that's what's now going to continually generate its money. Oh, look at that. Perfect. The farm's now upgrading. That farm's now upgrading as this is upgrading. So now we will start producing more grain, and then we'll start, without me doing anything then, start making more money. Right, I'm thinking then it's time we take a gamble and build a proper station for vehicles in Shanghai. So a truck stop will allow me, if I do multiple platforms, it will allow me to maximize my delivery. But I don't think it's going to be good there. Can I get rid of the tram tracks on it? Right. Because I can build one there, but we're inadvertently still going to need another one. Right, I just heard the farm upgrade. So I could put that one there. And then I could build another one over there. But it doesn't make much sense. It would be nice to kind of have one here, but the radius doesn't spread as far as you would like. It's annoying because it's already a little bit too far for my liking. Or to be honest with it, I could just keep what we've got here. And then go ahead and build one here. It's not the end of the world. And then I just create a secondary line. Because there's a lot of food available for Shanghai. There is so much available. Right. Let's just call that 1. Right. And then we'll create another new line. Utilizing all the platforms. Bam, 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 bam. And call that number 2. Now, granted... And make sure it's the right color. Granted, right, the number 1 line here in Shanghai does reach more buildings than what this one would do. So would we require 10 vehicles? Probably not. But I'm going to put 10 vehicles on it anyway. And then we'll judge between those two lines to Shanghai for food. Which one needs more vehicles, which one needs less vehicles based on what is left on the platform. Right, so I want to make this, manage the line. Its default platform to be 4. And this one to be 1. So you can see the food dispersed between either side. So that's its default platform. So you can see which one's getting more than the other. And that should be another way in which we're making sweet. Oh, they've gone the opposite way first. I suppose the only benefit for that is it gives me time to build up some of it on the platform, but yeah. Tis what it is. That would be a nice little bend to go into there. Oh, I mean, I said it. They did it, but it's not perfect. Right. Sorry, we have to delete that building. I just like the aesthetics of that road. And it helps me do a little loop to come back out. Right. We're seeing none of my vehicles crossing. Is that because they've connected? No, I think they're just transporting to these couple of buildings there. So at least that will now space everything out. We've got a couple of goods here on the platform, but I don't see it being that busy, that one. And how is all of this? So now, in theory, we could add more grain vehicles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then duplicate them. So I now got 40 vehicles on that grain run. Which I am going to cause traffic. There is no way about this. I am going to cause myself some problems. But we'll see how it goes. We need more grain delivered because we can't produce enough if we're not getting it delivered. But we're in no threat of downgrading, so that's the only benefit. Right, those extra vehicles will help me out. To be honest with you, it might be a case of now we start looking at upgrading these. And just fine-tuning all this, because this will then set me up for the future. Right, utilize both sides. So we can unload, sorry, load up 2 at once. Do the same thing over here. So I'm now just fine-tuning my current setup and just getting me in the position, now that I can afford it, to be faster and efficient. That is the goal there. Faster and efficient. And the more grain we can get delivered here, the better. I'm thinking I just added 10 vehicles in, and that's not going to be enough still. Just got that feeling it's still not going to be enough. Now, I know we need more vehicles on the food 1 line. Which I might take those vehicles, because this line's going to be losing lots of cash. I know it's going to. So if I take 5 vehicles off that and route them onto number 1 line, that will help us out ever so slightly. Ever so slightly, we're a bit more efficient here in Shanghai. So we're doing more than half of its supply. That should now increase, by the way. There's extra vehicles. But I'm very vehicle orientated right now, aren't I? I'm very vehicle orientated. So there's a lot of grain still. So we are looking like we could potentially add another 10. Which would mean then I would have 50 vehicles on this line for the grain. I can't wait until we have larger capacity. All right, get us all situated still. So all those new vehicles are going to make their way down here for the first time. And they should get dispersed now between the two platforms. Alright, in they come. So less of a backlog on the main street. And that's now picking up the goods. Obviously, having a warehouse on here is also going to be beneficial. How much would one cost me? Alright, I could build, and then just having one adds an extra 75 cargo. So I'll build one. Can store 75 cargo additional before messing up. We'll do the same with this one as well. We'll store an extra 75 cargo. Just so we can keep producing, we don't really lose much then at that point. And then the same for this one. So one additional warehouse on each of the buildings for the truck stops. Right, how's Shanghai looking now then? We've increased its supply even more. The chart suggests it is definitely continuing to grow. Have I made Shanghai the biggest city in the game already? I have. Already, I have. Okay, that's really good. Delivering more food. So we're super efficient now. It's very basic, but we are efficient. The only thing to make us now more efficient is turning those into actual truck stops. So we can utilize multi-platform systems. But other than that, it will do. That's now starting to build a little bit of a backlog, which is great. So that means that line is now profitable and we could add more vehicles to it. We're just going to leave it though. We will leave it. Yeah. We are getting there. We are slowly getting there. Now, could this level up again? It could do. But what it's going to require is me to have more shipment options, more people to be delivering to. And that's something that's now going to have to grow over time. Or we start looking at delivering to a whole new city. Now, we've got other ones. We've got Beijing over there, which is a little bit of a drive. But I think with what we've got set up now, and you can see the revenue that we're earning. So we're earning 250,000 big ones every year. We're now going to probably take a look at seeing, and hopefully that can support us with building a train line somewhere that will allow us to take the company to the next stage. Now, what does that equate to us on a yearly? It all depends on if I spend money or not. It all depends. You would like to think it's going to be a decent amount, but with maintenance, infrastructure, with my loan repayments, that will tell a different story altogether. But at least this system is now profitable. I can add a few more vehicles here and there where needed, but it is right now super profitable. So the next question begs then, boys, where do we go from here? So obvious thing would be to do is to set up a train line. And how this game works is you earn more money the further you transport something. You earn even more money if you transport a lot of things over a far distance. So we could set up grain to there, which is great, just not far enough. We have the ability to set up wood runs here. There's some ore and coal over there and some stone. There is some oil down here that could be transported, maybe up to there. That could be a decent run. Got our steel plants over there for the ore and coal up there. More oil over here. There's wood over there. You know what? There's a lot of possibilities. There's a lot of potential. It's just making his decision and sticking to it. So I haven't spent any money this year round anyway. And we made 156,000 big ones in profit after all of our expenses. Pretty solid, but it's not something we can utilize to grow the company to its maximum. So we might need to get a few additional loans next episode. We might need to add a few more vehicles to all of these runs. We've increased on the shipment, which is good. So, yeah, we've got big plans. And hopefully we'll eventually get bigger capacity vehicles. Guys, this is Transport Fever 2, the China edition. And other surrounding countries. If you want to see more of this to see where it's going to progress and where it's eventually going to end up, then please make sure you smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you are new. Don't rely on the recommended tab, boys. Subscribe to be notified when episode 2 of this China series does drop. But until next time, I will see you all soon. So, goodbye.